Friday, the 15th of August in the year 2025, and this is directly from the studio in Kyiv, Radio Shelter. And I'm Tony Eastern, and we love to bring you tonight some melancholic rock and pop songs that we are sure you will understand and enjoy. It is a special broadcasting evening today, as Radio Shelter exists 1 year. We congratulate ourselves, an achievement in wartime, and we did our best to play you songs that are welcome in this difficult period of time for Ukraine. And tonight, we do that in a special way. After long thinking, I made a choice to play songs of only one artist, an artist that fits in some ways very well in the present situation in Ukraine. Jim Croce. Tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day.
Well, I'm sorry for the things that I told you. Words only go so far. And if I had my way, I would reach into heaven and I'd pull you down a star. For a present, and I'd make you a chain out of diamonds and pearls from a summer sea. But all I can give you is a kiss in the morning and a sweet apology. Well, I know that it hasn't been easy, and I haven't always been around to say the right words or to hold you in the morning or to help you when you're down. I know I never showed you much of a good time, but baby, things are gonna change. I'm gonna make up for all of the hurt I brought. I'm gonna love away all your pain. And tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. There's gonna be some changes tomorrow. Gonna be a brighter day. This time you can believe me. No more crying in your lonely room, and no more empty nights. 'Cause tomorrow morning everything will turn out right. Well, there's something that I've gotta tell you. Yes, I've got something on my mind. But words come hard when you're lying in my arms, or when I'm looking deep into your eyes. But there's truth and consolation. Now what I'm trying to say is that nobody ever had a rainbow, baby, until he had the rain. And tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. There's gonna be some changes tomorrow. Gonna be a brighter day. This time you can believe me. No more crying in your lonely room, and no more empty nights. 'Cause tomorrow morning everything will turn out right. It's gonna be a brighter day. 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 Come on tomorrow, gonna be a brighter day.
Our first song on this birthday evening, Jim Croce with Tomorrow's Gonna Be a Brighter Day. Let's start with Jim Croce. His songs have some sadness in it, and at the time, some acceptance, but also some almost childish belief. He was a true country guy, in his songs at least, and represents with this the longing for things that probably will never come. He writes about the countryside of the USA. So also Ukraine these days is a mixture of moods, and also has wishes that seem unrealistic, but also carry some optimistic sadness, if that exists. Apart from this, his songs are beautiful and tell what music really is. With pleasure, we dedicate this first birthday of Radio Shelter to Jim Croce, who himself did not get older than 30 years of age. We started with this song as there is no better way to start. One of the few songs of Jim that are optimistic about hope, belief, repair of relationships, and forgiveness. Good for our country as well. He wrote the song not long before he died, as I said, at the age of 30. It was 1973, and this is from his second album, Life and Times. It never was brought out as a single, but since his death it became an important song for his fans and is still very popular. As I said, a good begin of the Crouchy songs. Let's go to Marina. Hi Marina, good to have you.
Hi, Tony. I am doing well. And first, I want to congratulate you and the whole team of Radio Shelter with the celebration of 1 year broadcasting. It is very nice, and from the reaction I see from listeners, many of them like it. You found the right music for the difficult time in Ukraine. I have a feeling that for our second birthday, we will do that without a war. No peace, probably, but at least no more endless bombing. I hope to be part of your team then still, although I have probably less interest in news when there is no fighting anymore. But first today, as there is no improvement to be seen in the war and most people here are very skeptical about the meeting between Putin and Trump. Hard to imagine that all of a sudden there will be a success. From the other side, I told you about the black swan we all need. Something completely not expected that changed everything. And maybe there are black swans in Alaska swimming. In any case, it is much cooler there than in Washington or Moscow today, and that is very much needed. I hope for the best, and every little bit of improvement we all welcome very much. Once again, congratulations for your program, and till next week, bye, Tony.
Thanks Marina. Thanks for the congratulation, and this goes of course also for you as part of our team. Our second song for tonight, Operator, Jim Croce.
Operator, or could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. She's living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. Operator, or could you help me place this call? 'Cause I can't read the number that you just gave me. There's something in my eyes, you know it happens every time. I think about the love that I thought would save me. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. No, 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 that's not the way it feels. Operator, well, let's forget about this call. There's no one there I really wanted to talk to. Thank you for your time. and so much more than kind. You can keep the dime. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can't find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels.
Our hero of tonight, Jim Croce, with Operator. In this song, we see a sort of words that Jim Croce uses in most of his songs. Younger listeners will not directly have a relation with an operator, but this person you had to connect and to contact to make a phone call to somebody else, and this operator would connect you then. For instance, Smooth Operator from Sade as a song. Our song is written by Jim in 1972, although the idea was already older. It became quite a big hit and reached number 17 in the American Billboard. The song comes from the second album of Jim, Don't Mess Around with Jim. In this song, a guy wants to reconnect with his former girlfriend and needs the operator to find her at the west coast of America. She is supposed to live with an ex-friend of him, but in reality, he just wants to talk to someone about her, and an operator is then a very good alternative. He wants something, but knows it cannot be. This is Jim Croce, and this makes a lot of his songs so melancholic and slightly ironic. Exactly the same we will see with another song of Jim, Walking Back to Georgia. We move on now to Alabama Rain, Jim Croce.
Lazy days in mid-July, country Sunday mornings, dusty haze on summer highways, sweet magnolia calling. Now and then I find myself thinking of the days that we were walking in the Alabama rain, driving movies Friday nights, drinking beer and laughing. Somehow things were always right. I just don't know what happened. Now and then I find myself thinking of the days when we were walking in the Alabama rain. We were only kids, but then I've never heard it said that kids can't fall in love and feel the same. I can still remember the first time I told you I love you on a dusty mid-July country summer's evening. A weeping willow sang its lullaby and shared our secret. But now and then I find myself thinking of the days that we were walking in the Alabama rain, walking in the Alabama rain.
Alabama Rain Jim Croce. Jim Croce was born in 1943 in South Philadelphia under the name of James Joseph Croce, Italian American roots. He did a psychology study, what you can hear in his words, I would say, and as somebody did learn himself to play guitar. In 1966, his first album was released, and he paid for it with the present he got for his marriage and did it for $500. Small profit he made. In that year, he married Ingrid Jacobsen, and they were on stage together and moved to New York. But they didn't come further than playing in small clubs. Only in the early 70s, his successes started to come. Alabama Rain is, in my opinion, one of Jim's most impressive songs, as it is a brilliant way he describes how life should be peaceful and optimistic. This, apart from the fact that his other songs do not give this message at all, and this makes it so special. But here, Jim shows his brilliant possibility to show his guitar playing and singing in complete harmony. This nostalgic song is from 1973 and also from the album Life and Times, and also seen by his fans as something special that they treasure until today. I wish that in Ukraine we could return to this mentality of optimism and peacefulness and created by just the rain and nature. Let's believe in this. Next, Jim Croce's song, We Play for You, I Got a Name.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I've got a name, I've got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I've got a name, I've got a name. And I carry it with me like my daddy did, but I'm living the dream that he kept here. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Like a north wind whistling down the sky, I've got a song, I've got a song. Like the whippoorwill and the babies cry, I've got a song, I've got a song. And I carry it with me and I sing it loud. If it gets me nowhere, I go there proud. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. I could share it if you want me to. If you're going my way, I'll go with you. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by.
I got a name, Jim Croce. Let's first go back to the short life of Jim. He's a good example how the most beautiful music is created at first with no success, and someone has to work in all kinds of simple jobs to earn money to live. He did that, but in the meantime continued to write songs. In the early 70s, he met Maury Mughleisen, and that became very successful. Maury was a producer, artist, and songwriter, and it worked with Jim. Just as Jim, he died tragically very early, being in the same plane accident as Jim. The albums and successes came. I Got a Name became, after the death of Jim, a top 10 hit in America. On September the 20th, 1973, during one of the live tours, both Jim and Maury died in an air crash in Louisiana. And this was one day before the release of I Got a Name. Then his hits started to come. Jim had a son who was born in 1971, so 2 years old, when his father died, and later became also an artist and performing under the name Croce Does Croce. But now he released more than 10 albums already. Jim is now memorized in museums and halls of fame, but we lost an enormous number of songs never to be written. With many artists that die young, one can understand it, as they took risks that were exceptional. But with Jim, Maury, and of course Buddy Holly, this was certainly not the case. This song is not written by Jim, but by Charles Fox and Norman Gimbel, released in 1973, as I told you before, and after his death became a big hit. Now, on to the next one. Time in a Bottle, Jim Croce.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with.
Time in a Bottle, Jim Croce. This song is from 1970 and written by Jim. It seems he wrote the song when his wife, Ingrid, told him that she was pregnant. The song wants to wish for the possibility to stop time for a certain period and freeze it in. I would say to keep the good times. The pregnancy convinced Jim that he had to become more serious and start making a real living. Also, this song got its big successes after the tragic death of Jim and went on in 1974 to number one in the American Billboard. Also, here, of course, melancholy and longing for things, good things that have passed and will not come back again. This song is especially liked by his son Adrian, and he sings it still often on stage. Last song for tonight, and of course, a special one, and of course, tonight with Jim Croce, is my favorite song, Walking Back to Georgia.
I'm walking back to Georgia, and I hope she will take me back. Nothing in my pockets, and all I own is upon my back. But she's the girl who said she loved me on that hot, dusty Macon road. And if she's still around, I'm gonna settle down without a hard loving Georgia girl. I'm walking back to Georgia. She's the only one who knows how it feels when you lose a dream and how it feels when you dream alone. But she's the girl who said she loved me on that hot, dusty Macon road. And if she's still around, I'm gonna settle down without a hard, loving Georgia girl. Georgia, can you hear me calling? Oh, I'll be home in just a while. And if I had to, I'd be crawling just to share another morning smile. But you're the girl who said you loved me on that hot, dusty long ago. And if you're still around, I'm gonna settle down with you, my hard-loving Georgia girl. Because I'm walking back to Georgia, and I hope she will take me back. Nothing in my pockets, and all I own is upon my back. But she's the girl who said she loved me on that hot, dusty Macon road. And if she's still around, I'm gonna settle down without a hard-loving Georgia girl.
Walking Back to Georgia, Jim Croce. This fantastic song comes from his album You Don't Mess Around with Jim from 1972, which was his breakthrough album with songs like Operator and later Time in a Bottle. Never released as a single and therefore was no hit, which makes it maybe even more special and beautiful. In my opinion, this song tells it all. Jim comes back to a simple place in Georgia many years after he left the girl he loved and thinks, or rather hopes, she is still there more or less waiting for him. What does he bring with him? Nothing. No money, and it seems no songs wrote. Which girl waits for a young cowboy who leaves her to experience the world and many years later comes back expecting her still to be there? Only someone who knows he believes in something not realistic and knows that, but still wants to believe it, as it feeds his feeling for melancholy. The perfect country song, and done with basically only a guitar. Jim was in no way a Southern boy, but he got attracted by the romanticism of the South and the many country songs he listened to as a young boy. very difficult to estimate in which direction his career would have developed. In Ukraine, melancholy is also an important element, as so much has been destroyed that probably never will come back. But it's essential to treasure that, even if it's not realistic. As slowly elements of it will return, and that is already all that could be longed for. As you know, we play for you well selected songs from mainly the 60s and the 70s, big hits and forgotten special ones. Some of them you certainly will recognize, as they are still often played or used for movies and commercials. We give a small story with each song. Radio Shelter plays only songs we love, and we hope we please you with our choice. And please do not forget to subscribe to our wonderful Radio Shelter and get every new broadcasting automatically on your device. Next to push on subscribe, you should also push on the bell on the screen to make it all perfect and to enjoy us every Friday. We wish you a good and, of course, a very safe week on behalf of Radio Shelter, Marina, and myself. And please tune in next Friday. And I'm Tony Eastern. So long.
Привіт усім! Мене звати Настя, і я співачка у дівочому поп-гурті Melody Girls of Ukraine, тут, у Києві. Від щирого серця бажаю кожному з вас доброти, миру та любові.